Even if it takes you having to lock yourself in your room to work through that shadow work, then do it. Because nobody gonna work through it but yourself. Either fix it now, and then you won't have to worry about it later on in the future, because you have already worked through it. Hi guys, today we're gonna be talking about shadow work. Shadow work was originally created by Carl Jung, who created a whole psychology around it. And shadow work is like when you bring up old traumas from the past. Shadow work is technically like a self-therapy. I see shadow work as like working with yourself and by yourself, and bringing up old traumas and working it through it by yourself. But of course, there's always therapy. But some people choose to do shadow work instead of going to actual therapy and stuff like that. But at the same time, it is a good thing to have therapy with somebody else. It's always good to have a outside perspective on your life, looking in. People from the outside perspective might see things that you don't see, that they could bring it up to you, and then you will be able to see it just like they see it. That's why therapy with other people is good as well. It is also very important, because sometimes it's good to like talk to yourself, go within, recollect all your thoughts and emotions, and just diving in into your deepest emotions, your deepest problems, your deepest issues, and then going through it with yourself. It's okay to feel this way and accept those emotions. Change your perspective on that situation. If you go looking back to a certain event from the past, it's good to recollect your emotion at that time, your strong emotion that you had at that time, and then in a way flip it into a different emotion, rather than looking at it as like bad things happened to me at that time, people hurt me at that time. Rather than looking at it like that, try to change your perspective of looking at it like that, and instead see it as instead of looking at it like that, think about without that situation you wouldn't have learned about certain things. Some people do shadow work and as well do therapy, go to therapy with somebody else. If it's really bad past event, you should definitely go to therapy to help you go through that as well. But in the same time, you should also do shadow work as well. But sometimes some people are not ready for that, so of course do therapy and then maybe later do shadow work. Working through your shadows means like emotions or thoughts you have before in the past suppressed because of a traumatic event. It doesn't really have to be a traumatic event. It's just like a event people from the outside perspective could have said something or did something to like make you fall back into your cell. I don't know why your brain automatically decide to suppress those events and those emotions and that identity of that shadow. So now we're gonna moving on to how to do shadow work. There's many different ways to do shadow work. For me, my way of doing shadow work is going to my room and locking myself in my room and just laying on my bed. Just you can do it any way you want. So just laying back on my bed and then close my eyes, meditate to the event that made me suppress that shadow self that I had in the past. Go back to that same event and then look back every single detail that happened at that event, and then just like just embrace your past self that felt sad, that felt hurt, that felt angry at that time because of the situation that happened. Just embrace them and tell them you're gonna be there for them, you love them. Say encouraging stuff to your old self your old past self at that time. Just embrace that shadow until you'll be able to, like, instead of being mad or sad or hurt by that event that have happened in the past because of it, instead either you feel happy now or you feel like neutral. Of course you're gonna be like iffy about it, but at least you're not gonna be as mad or sad or angry at what happened in the past. And instead you're gonna be like neutral. You'll be like, yes, that happened, yes, I went through it, yes, it taught me stuff, it helped me realize something about myself. Always remember what happened, and then, you know, realize you went through that, or whatever it is. When you do shadow work, the perspective can go up and down. There's a spectrum of it. Like, some people have it really bad, some people have it like really small, but it's still trauma that you still have to work through. Other ways to do shadow work would be like meditating. Some people meditate to calm yourself, you know, just work through it. That what I do, but I meditate laying on the bed, which after I do that I usually like cry. So when you do shadow work, most people will usually end up crying through it. You'll end up crying, sobbing. That was me. That's me every time I do shadow work. And yes, sometimes I even myself have always tried to avoid doing shadow work because the amount of pain and sadness you will feel just by going through the past, many people have avoided. It will come back at you. It might not come at you now, but it will later in the future, because it is the shadow. It's gonna pop its little head whenever it wants. So it's rather than trying to avoid it, try to work on it now. Or if you don't want to, you could just like work through it. Put a date on when you should sit down and actually work through that shadow work, rather than avoid it all the time. If you don't want to do it now, just put a date on, like, maybe in the next 2 weeks, maybe the next 4 days or month. But put a date on when you're gonna make yourself, even if you have to like set yourself in a room like I do, just do that. And then when that day comes, do that, lock yourself in your room, and then just work through that trauma. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. And of course, please like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you. Bye.